My name is Lorz, and I represent the SIM program, the Strategy and International Management Master at the University of St.Gallen. And within this master program, I serve as careers manager, so in charge of the employability of the students, helping them to enhance their employability. We are a cantonal university, which means that our tuition fees are rather low. So that might be surprising to many. It's roughly 3,300 Swiss francs at the moment for international students. And our master program is at least 3 semesters. So you should, for tuition fees, you can count 10,000 francs, more or less. Switzerland is, of course, known as having quite high living costs. So students arriving in St. Gallen should keep this into consideration. However, out of all the more bigger cities in Switzerland, for example, rents are the lowest in St. Gallen, and we are a student city. St. Gallen is a student city, so a lot of students live together and find quite decent price accommodation. We are subsidized by the canton, and Swiss students pay even a little bit less than that. So international students pay 3,329 at the moment, but that changes every year a little bit, but more or less 3,300. We do have many that get loans or support from their families, or some have had paid internships before they come, that they can save a little bit at least for their living costs. We do have a fantastic, actually, advice center for study funding at the University of St. Gallen, I must say, where we have scholarships sometimes. And I really encourage, if you are interested in SIM as an applicant, or that you have a look at their website, studyfunding.unisg.ch. There are loads of scholarships opportunities there, some that are relevant for one type of nationalities only. And they also offer emergency loans, because we realized that during COVID, for example, many families were in distress. So funding should ideally not be a reason not to do SIM, let's put it this way. There is a great support there. We currently have 55 students in our cohort. I think our cohort is normally between 45 and 60, because that's the 60 is kind of the maximum of having the community feeling in the class. So that is one of the benefits of being a SIMMie, that we have a very close-knit community. For us, it's important that SIMMies grow during this journey, and that they are challenged on their goals, but also supported to understand their long-term direction, like really long-term direction, and then to make informed decisions for their short-term actions, and which would mean the first job after SIM, for example. So not all SIMMies actually want to stay in Switzerland. It is not the reason to do SIM to start a job in Switzerland. But we do, of course, have probably the biggest community in Switzerland at the moment, the biggest hub of our older SIMMies. I can't give you an exact number of how many actually normally go stay in Switzerland, and how many are in the neighboring countries, or maybe decide to return to each home country. But it's what is it? Maybe not, now I'm repeating myself, but what is really important for us is that they achieve their goals. And of course, one thing to keep in mind is the fact that Switzerland still, unfortunately, has quite restrictive regulations for immigration. So for career entry positions, non-EU citizens currently have it a little bit more difficult than EU citizens and Swiss citizens to find a job, because the companies have to prove that they cannot find a Swiss or EU person for this same job. So let's say it's a job which is rather broad in their recruiting, like strategy consulting, where they recruit from all sorts of study directions. There, it is very, very hard, next to impossible to get a career start position. Whereas the more targeted you go in a narrow area, there it gets slightly easier. So we've had cases like that. It's not impossible, but it's hard. So that is also a reason why we explore the neighboring countries. If someone's very keen to work in the German-speaking region, for example, then we look at, okay, what is it really about, which part of the region is attractive for that particular SIMmy. The most SIMmies that complete the SIM or the MIM, so to say, in St. Gallen, we have a big portion that do get jobs in strategy consulting or in-house consulting or maybe boutique consulting for the nature of the strategy work. I mean, we are a strategy and international management master, so there's a strong link to strategy, and many stay interested in this and use it as a career accelerator, as a career start accelerator. Another big area of career starters are in the corporate sector. So either strategy jobs or maybe more investing roles in finance. So we have pharma, we have banks, private equity coming in. And then the last bit, we're not the typical program for entrepreneurs, but we have a high entrepreneurial spirit amongst SIMmies. So many are interested in the VC sector, in startups. So they might pursue an internship during their SIM in a VC or a startup because they know at one point in their life they want to become entrepreneurs or want to co-found a company. So we don't have that many who actually found a company afterwards. So it's not a program for founders, but like I said, there's a great entrepreneurial spirit. So this aspect is still quite present amongst the SIMmies. I think those areas are the main ones. And consumer goods within the corporate, I think I forgot to say that. That's still also a classical one that sometimes within the corporate sector has a place. I would have to refer to the Financial Times ranking where they say it's on average $124,000 US dollars. But to give you a more maybe satisfactory answer, it really depends on those areas, right? So consulting pay, and the locations where the SIMmies choose to go to. So of course the Swiss starting salaries are rather high, but we do have areas where actually a starting salary in a certain sector, in a certain company like consulting, is even higher. In Germany, or on par, we have SIMmies in Luxembourg, in Holland, in all over Europe really, and some in Middle East, where also the starting salaries and the packages are rather high. So I think when we think starting salaries is of course the full package that should be taken into account. And I think the more relevant thing for applicants to focus on is the fact that the SIM does have very good opportunities for you to meet different companies. And on average, SIM students have a few offers at the end of their studies, so that they can choose from. And I think this is relevant because whether the salary is good or not is always very relative. And I think our SIMmies do get good jobs, they get good career starts, and and that's we're very proud of them. The purpose of SIM careers is really to enable the students to grow and ultimately to make more informed decisions based on being challenged on their long-term career goals. Because when we look at, when we discuss with SIMmies about what their values are, their interests, their dreams, it's really about understanding their compass so that they say, okay, these are the drivers of my life. And we focus less on the career start because every SIMmy will ultimately get a job. We want to take off the pressure from the students to say they will all get a job, and it's more important why they choose a certain job and what happens after that. And the activities that we offer at SIM in terms of careers and employability enhancement are all kind of linked in supporting that process. So either it's reflection related, it's skills enhancement, or it's support in actually going for those jobs that they have defined valuable for them. We do work, of course, very closely with the Career Services Centre at the University of St.Gallen. I think it's important for people that are interested in St.Gallen and in the MIM program or the SIM program in St.Gallen to know that we have a close team in the SIM, but we work together with the Career Services Centre, which they serve all the 9,000 plus students, the bachelor, master, and PhD students at the university. They do offer fantastic recruiting events. I must say there are many chances to visit companies on campus, everything from consulting days to banking days to industry days. We have each spring, we have something called the HSG Talents Conference, which is the biggest recruiting fair in this field of business in Switzerland, where over 100 companies come to campus or to a conference center in town to meet students. So I think it's really all in all. It is a very St.Gallen is the number one university or business school in the German-speaking region, and that's why it's very attractive for recruiters to visit campus. And I think it's important to keep in mind that the opportunities are very high to meet potential employers. I think before choosing a master program or master management program, I think everybody should really look into what they are about. Maybe speak to some older SIMmies or some older alumni from other schools to understand really the essence of it. And because it is a time investment, and I think coming to SIM, it's important that we hear that it's right for the right choice, because SIM is not something to put on your CV. It's not something to do to get a job in Switzerland or to get a high salary. We focus a lot on purpose, on helping you to find a purpose so that you can find, or that the applicants or the SIMmies can, in their own ways, through their or talents, make a difference in the world. So we do attract mostly these type of students. All of our SIMmies have, in one way or the other, it doesn't all have to be the same way, and not at all, and that's not what we're looking for, but all of them have a certain drive to change something in the world and change it for the better, obviously, whether it is through within a corporate setting, whether it's through founding a company one day, whether it's through a social setting or within the environmental sector. It's so many different ways, or coaching others. And we have a big focus on co-creation and the SIM community. So we really want them to engage with each other, help each other, learn from each other. And by saying we want them, I also mean myself. We are, as a team, we are also SIMmies. So I'm constantly learning from the SIMmies every day so that I can enable them better. And this is something that is not always easy for applicants out there to understand, that what the value of such an approach is and how they can grow more through that. And that's why we don't encourage everyone to apply. I think it's important to know that it has to be the right for you without pressure. And we do have sometimes applicants that are not entirely sure what it is, but then we engage very honestly and openly with them to see if it's the right program for them. So it's absolutely fine also to contact us and ask questions, because it is a slightly different approach indeed. So I've had the privilege to work in the SIM program for a bit more than 6 years now. And I have asked myself that question many, many times. And the thing is that the SIMmies, honestly, with hand on my heart, they inspire me every day and they help me grow. And I feel that as a coach and career advisor, I personally live my purpose through enabling others to see what they can achieve and what they can reach in life, and seeing I always see, like, if I can then make that much of a positive impact personally in this kind of amazing community where people have a huge heart and are so talented, then that's my job done, and that's really my purpose. So I must say it is, and I truly love the students. I do, otherwise I couldn't do this. And it's maybe difficult to understand if someone comes from a huge university, bachelor university, like how can someone be there and really care? But the whole team really cares, and I don't think you can do this job if you don't.